Charlie really was an amazing person. He was my best friend and my brother, and I will never...
He didn't get a second chance. A single round cut through a packed campus hall, and Charlie Kirk fell. In the middle of a debate, in front of thousands, his voice stopped. Tonight, Candace Owens says she will not let the story end there. She says the answers are buried, and she's going to dig them up. Now. It happened in Orem, Utah, at Utah Valley University. It was early afternoon on September 10th, 2025. The stage lights were on. The questions were sharp. Charlie was pressing back, fast and confident. Then the shot. Panic. People froze, then screamed.
I just think it's pretty scary, you know? I mean, he was touring college campuses. I'm pretty sure it was his first tour of the season he was doing. Security moved.
Paramedics ran. Charlie was rushed to the hospital, but he did not make it. Candace went silent for a moment. Then she focused like a laser. She asked for tips. She asked for video. She asked for flight logs. She asked for anything that could explain how a bullet found Charlie's neck so cleanly, with the whole room watching. She is angry. She is grieving. But more than anything, she wants the full picture. Police say a 22-year-old man named Tyler Robinson is the suspect.
Calling case 251-403-576. State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
He faces a murder charge. Officials say he turned himself in. In court, the county attorney laid out the case and said they will seek the maximum penalty under the law. Federal agents are assisting the probe. This case is now bigger than one city. And yet for Candace, that still isn't enough. She says the timeline is messy. She says the details feel wrong. She's pushing for every second, every angle, every trace. Let's rewind. The event was part of a national college tour. The room was energized.
So, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay.
A student pressed Charlie with numbers about mass shootings. Charlie pushed back, asking if gang violence should be counted. He never finished the thought. The round hit his neck. People near the stage tried to help. Blood loss was fast. The ride to the hospital felt endless. And yet, it was only minutes. Doctors worked. The hall outside the operating room filled with voices and prayers. Then came the words nobody wanted. The shock rolled across the country. Leaders from the right and the left condemned the violence, but the noise online moved even faster. Guesses, edits, fake quotes, and wild claims that spread in minutes.
It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Candace saw that storm and stepped straight into it. She said, "Stop the lies." She said, "Save the videos." She said, "Bring facts." She made her case on camera. If the story has holes, you do not fill them with rumors. You fill them with proof. Here is what investigators say so far. The suspect left digital footprints. He reached out to people before and after the event. He traveled. He watched. He walked into custody after talking to law enforcement. He now sits behind bars as lawyers prepare for a trial. None of that answers the question that haunts Candace. Was this just a man with a gun and hate? Or was there more? Candace is not the only one asking. Students want to know how security missed the threat. Staff want to know why the shooter had a window. Families want to know whether the planning for the tour was tight enough. Some point to venue rules.
You had a daughter and she was 10 and she got... And she was gonna give birth and she would... No, wait. Oh, and she was gonna give birth and she was gonna live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Others point to the path to the stage. The school is reviewing everything. Doors, sightlines, bag checks, and the timeline of the day. This is the slow, careful grind that follows a flash of violence. Meanwhile, Turning Point USA faces a future without its founder. The board moved fast. They named his widow, Erica Kirk, as CEO and chair. She stepped forward with tears in her eyes and steel in her voice. She said Charlie prepared her for this. She said the mission will not die with him. She said the tour will go on. That is a heavy promise, but she made it anyway. Candace knows Erica well. They shared stages and green rooms and long travel days. Now they share a loss. In private, grief is quiet. In public, it becomes pressure. Every post gets judged. Every word gets picked apart. Candace chooses to push through. She keeps repeating one line: "We need the truth, not the rumors." She wants the paper trail. She wants the ballistics. She wants the camera angles that the crowd never saw.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage.
Let's talk about the moment itself. The round struck high and fast. First responders used direct pressure. There are reports it cut an artery, which would explain how quickly he faded. If that is true, seconds mattered more than anything. A few feet one way or the other, and maybe the outcome is different. That idea crushes people. It also drives them.
For your father, for the things that he said, such as he believes that you should grab women by the...
He didn't say that. I want to say something. I want to say something. Let me do it.
That's a ridiculous question, first and foremost. Because I'm sure you've never said anything bad in your life.
Are you mad? I'm sure. But you just called liberal.
It is why Candace refuses to let the timeline go fuzzy. Now to the suspect. Officials say he told people why he did it. They say he blamed Charlie's ideas. If that is proven, it still leaves the logistics. Where did he get the weapon? Who knew what and when? How did he choose his spot? How did he get away from the scene? And why did he later surrender? Those questions are basic, but they matter. Because if there were warning signs, the country needs to know them. While agents sort through phones and cameras and data, Candace builds a public case for clarity. She is not asking you to like Charlie. She is not asking you to agree with his views. She is asking for something simpler. Do not accept a half story. Do not let a short clip become the final record. She believes sunlight is the only force that will keep this from happening again. The campus is open again. Students walk by the hall where it happened. There are flowers. There are notes. There is a young family without a husband and father. And there is a movement trying to decide what comes next. Erica says they will build.
You know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been?
Candace says they will reveal. Both paths run through the same thing. Facts that can stand up to heat, to anger, and to time. But what happened next was even harder. The rumors learned to wear a suit. They started to sound smart. They used charts and fake documents to push neat stories. Candace cut through that, piece by piece. She called out posts that stitched old clips into new lies. She asked flyers at airports about tail numbers. She asked local pilots about the rules that track small planes. She did not take anything on faith, not even claims that seemed to help her side. Night after night, she returned to the same core demand: show the records. Not because it makes good TV, but because families deserve it. She is a fierce voice, yes. But at the center of this, there is a basic human promise. When a person is cut down in public, the public gets answers. She is holding the system to that promise. As the case heads to court, prepare for more heat.
Actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. 4,000 black men, women, and children were...
There will be filings, leaks, and long days when it feels like nothing moves. That is normal. Justice is slow. It is also why patience matters now. Rushing to the loudest claim helps no one. Candace says the only way out is the long way. Test every claim, cross-check every file, and accept the truth when it lands, even if it hurts. So where does this leave us? With grief that still stings, with a widow who stepped into a job she never asked for, with a movement that lost its founder, and with a friend who refuses to look away. Candace believes answers exist, and she is hunting them. Maybe she finds a scheme. Maybe she finds only one man's hate. Either way, she is forcing light into dark corners, and that is what this moment needs. Stay with this. Keep your mind clear and your eyes open. Demand the documents. Demand the footage. Demand the chain of events from the first campus email to the moment the suspect walked into custody. If we do that, the story will not be written by trolls and bots. It will be written by evidence, by people who were there, and by a record that can stand in a courtroom and in history.
Let me do it.
That's a ridiculous question, first and foremost, because I'm sure you've never said anything bad in your life.
Are you mad?
I'm sure,
but you just paused.
And that is where we end tonight. Not with a rumor, not with a meme, but with a challenge. Do not settle for a clean conspiracy or a lazy headline. Settle only for the truth. Signed and stamped. Charlie's family deserves it. The students in that hall deserve it. And yes, Candace deserves it too. Because if a voice can be cut down in public, the only answer worthy of this country is the whole truth, laid out for all to see. In the days after, new steps rolled out. The school reviewed entry checks. The tour hired more security. Venues added metal detectors and new camera positions. None of it can rewind the clock, but it can slow the next tragedy. Candace points to that too. She says prevention is not politics. It is common sense. Lights, plans, drills, boring words that save lives when the bad moment comes. There is also the team who built Charlie's show. Staff members who knew his cadence now work through silence. Editors sit with empty timelines. Producers stare at a calendar full of dates that will never happen. Candace knows the media grind.
I didn't know what to do other than to scroll through messages between me and Charlie, regarding which there are a ton of them.
She knows how easy it is to move on. She refuses to. Every time the story drifts, she pulls it back to the core. Who, where, when, how, and why. Then she adds the most important word of all. Prove it. Erica has her own list. Payroll, contracts, donors.
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith.
Events that were set months ago. She meets with lawyers and local police chiefs. She makes the calls Charlie would have made, and also the ones he never had to consider. It is heavy, and it is public. People will judge every choice. Yet, she shows up. She thanks supporters. She comforts Siap. She tells her children about their dad in words they can bear. The law will have the last say. When the case reaches trial, the facts will be tested in open court. The suspect will hear the charges again. Witnesses will take the stand. Video will be played frame by frame. A jury will weigh it all. That is how this system works when we let it. Candace says that is all she is asking. A real test in the open, with nothing hidden in a folder that never sees daylight. Beyond the courtroom sits something bigger. How do we argue in public without turning a stage into a battlefield? How do we guard open debate without locking it behind walls? These are hard questions, but they are not impossible ones. We can check bags. We can watch entrances. We can train students and staff on what to do when a threat appears. We can make the window for chaos smaller, even if we cannot make it zero. And yes, we can talk about words. Charlie used words like a hammer. Many loved him for that. Many did not. But there is no debate worth a life. If we want free speech to live, we have to keep people alive while they use it. That is the point. Candace, for all her fire, lands on that same line. Protect the stage. Protect the audience. Protect the right to disagree at full volume and walk away breathing. If you are watching this, you might be angry. You might be tired. You might be tempted to accept the first theory that fits your feed. Do not. You are better than that. Be the person who asks for receipts. Be the person who says, show me the report, show me the times, show me the routes, Show me the chain that proves what you claim. That is not cold. That is care. That is how you honor a life, with reality, not fiction. One more thing. Grief bends time. Days feel like months. This will take a while. The facts of September 10th are fixed, but the meaning's still forming. Do not let bad actors decide it for you. Candace will keep posting. Erica will keep building. Investigators will keep working. The rest of us have a job too. Respect the loss and require the truth. When this finally settles, there will be a record. It will not make the hurt vanish, but it will close the door on lies that grow in the dark. That is what Candace wants. That is what Erica wants. And it is what the country needs after a day when a stage turned into a scar. If you feel numb right now, that's normal. If you want to make this matter, start with small things. Learn the safety plan at your campus. Support the people who keep events secure. Show up for families who lost someone. And when the headlines start to fade, keep your eye on the docket. Trials bring answers, but only if the public watches long enough to hear them.
My question to somebody who I know, because I don't know you.
Some future president.
Donald Trump Jr. Yeah, Donald Trump Jr. My question is, how do you...
In the end, this is not a story about one side beating the other. It is a story about a human life, a public square, and a promise. The promise that we can argue hard without spilling blood. The promise that when that promise is broken, we will not look away. Candace is guarding that line loud and unblinking. Whether you love her or not, you can respect that stance. Demand the truth, accept the verdict, and protect the next voice before it is too late. Final word: truth over noise, evidence over rumor, and life over rage. Stay awake. Be honest.